Did you kill your mother?
Yeah.
You killed your mother. And why did you kill her?
She wasn't taking care of my family.
When did you decide to kill your mother?
I decided the day I did it.
And the method you chose was what?
Beating her to death.
And where did you hit her?
In the head.
Where was she when you did this?
She was in her room.
What was she doing?
She was asleep.
The interview you just heard was Zachary Davis, recounting the events the night he murdered his mother with a sledgehammer and attempted to burn his brother alive. Many argue that he was possessed. Others say he was mentally ill. We'll let you make your own assumption. Here's the disturbing story of Zachary Davis. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Melanie Davis moved from Australia to the United States to marry Chris Davis. The couple would have 2 sons, Josh and Zachary. A withdrawn and shy child, Zachary also had a history of mental illness. In 2007, Zachary's father, Chris Davis, died from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. After his father died, Zachary suffered a breakdown. Zachary's grandfather stated after the death of his dad, Zachary was admitted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center for a psychiatric evaluation. Zachary told the Vanderbilt University Medical Center psychiatrist that he heard voices inside his head. One of the voices was Chris Davis, Zachary's dead father. The doctor diagnosed Zachary with schizophrenia and depression, but even with the diagnosis, Zachary grew more detached. Shortly after Zachary was admitted to the medical center, his mother pulled him out. During his trial, Zachary's grandmother claimed that the tragic events in 2012 may not have happened if Zachary had been left in therapy. Melanie Davis worked hard to support her sons as a single mother after the death of her husband. She worked as a paralegal in an attorney's office and was active and training for a triathlon. After the death of her husband, Melanie moved her and her 2 sons to Sumner County, Tennessee. By all accounts, life in the Davis family household was harmonious, and everyone appeared to get along fine. In 2012, 15-year-old Zachary was struggling. Zachary had no friends at school. When Zachary spoke, it was in whispers, and he wore the same dirty hoodie to school every day. Zachary's favorite apps on his phone were a serial killer database and a list of medieval torture devices. His journals were filled with bizarre and disturbing things, such as, "You can't spell slaughter without laughter." Like other teenagers, Zachary played violent video games and watched horror films, but no one ever thought he was a danger, despite all the red flags. Zachary had never shown any signs of violence before August 10, 2012. On that night, everything changed. Earlier in the day, Melanie took Josh and Zachary to the movie theaters. They saw the comedy The Campaign, starring Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. Melanie went to bed on August 10th at around 9 p.m., as she typically did. The devoted and hardworking mother had no idea what her youngest son had in store for her that night as she slept. As Melanie slept, Zachary planned and packed a bag with his clothes, notebooks, and a toothbrush. He slipped on gloves and a ski mask and grabbed the sledgehammer his mother kept in the basement. With the sledgehammer in hand, Zachary quietly snuck into his sleeping mother's bedroom and struck her over the head. Zachary hit Melanie over 10 times with the sledgehammer. After murdering his mother, dressed in blood-soaked clothes, Zachary started a fire using whiskey and gasoline. Josh, Zachary's older brother, was asleep in the game room. Before he left the house, Zachary shut the door to the game room, hoping to lock his brother inside so he'd perish. Luckily, a fire alarm woke Josh up before the fire spread to his room. Josh ran to the neighbor's house, who alerted authorities. The first person to appear on the scene was a fireman, Winton Batson, with the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire and Rescue. Despite officers warning Batson the suspect could still be inside, he ran into the burning house when he heard there might be a victim inside. When Batson found Melanie's body in her bedroom, he knew it was too late for her. Melanie had severe injuries to her head. Batson saw the bloody sledgehammer inside a utility room and figured he had found the murder weapon. The following day, police officers discovered Zachary about 10 miles away from home. After his arrest, Zachary confessed to his mother's murder in a videotaped confession.
Is there a reason why you did that? Yes. Can you tell me what?
Later, during Zachary's trial, the jury saw the recording as evidence. During his interrogation, when a detective asked Zachary if he could go back and change anything, Zachary replied he would have killed Josh with the hammer too. Zachary explained to the detectives the voice of his dead father, Chris Davis, compelled him to kill his mom. He told the detectives he used a sledgehammer to ensure he didn't miss. Zachary's trial began in April 2015. He was charged with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and arson. By Zachary's court hearing, his case had garnered national attention. 2 months before he went on trial, Zachary appeared in an interview on the Dr. Phil show. Dr. Phil visited Zachary in prison and asked him about his brutal crimes. Zachary spoke in a monotone voice and made strange movements with his head and eyes. In the interview, Zachary told Dr. Phil after his father died, his brother molested him. Josh denied ever abusing his brother, and when law enforcement investigated the claims, they agreed. Josh did not molest Zachary. When Dr. Phil asked why he struck his mother with the sledgehammer so many times, Zachary said he wanted to ensure she was dead. Zachary's trial lasted for 4 days. During the trial, several mental health professionals took the witness stand. Another witness was Zachary's grandmother, who begged the court for leniency for her mentally ill grandson. The prosecution showed the jury the evidence at the trial, including the bloody sledgehammer, a knife, and Melanie Davis's blood-soaked bed sheets. Photos of the burned game room and the alleged paint can Zachary used to set the house on fire were also shown. After deliberation, the jury found Zachary guilty of all charges. The judge sentenced Zachary to spend the remainder of his life in prison for the first-degree murder of his mother, Melanie Davis. Zachary received an additional 20-year sentence for the attempted murder and arson charge. Attorneys working for Zachary requested the sentences to be served concurrently, meaning together, but the judge ruled the sentence would be consecutive, or after Zachary's life sentence was over. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.